Hey guys, this is Matt, your eBay mate. I have another video for you today, and we're going to be talking about feedback for your eBay sales. So a little bit about me. I'm originally from England, but about 5 years ago I moved to South Florida, and I have a full-time job, but in my spare time, I guess my part-time job, I resell used clothing on eBay. So I buy used clothing from thrift stores, normally male clothing, and then I flip it on eBay to make a profit. So I did have an eBay account when I lived in Europe, but and I sold DVDs and CDs and video games, stuff like that. But when I came to the US, I had to open a new account and start from scratch with my feedback and everything else. So when you first start out, it's kind of tricky. You have seller restrictions. You can only sell certain amounts with with certain category limits, which can be very frustrating when you first start. You get excited and you want to list everything, and you can't because eBay kind of locks you in. But now looking back, it's I can see why they do it. It's probably a good idea, just to make sure people learn correctly and build their business slowly. So anyway, when you're starting out, you do need to build that feedback, because if there's a potential buyer and then they see two items, the same item, and one guy has 10 feedback and the other has 1,000 feedback, and they're both positive, they're going to go with the guy that has 1,000 feedback. It's more credible, more experienced, and the buyer will be less nervous buying from that person than from you if you're just starting out. So anyway, there's 3 things that I do to try and generate feedback responses from the buyers, because not everybody would leave feedback. Most people, I'd say most people, half the people get the package, they open it up, and then they just go along with their lives. They don't go back and leave the feedback. So the first thing I do is leave them positive feedback. I mean, you give them some, and hopefully they'll give you some back. I don't really do that the same day they buy the item. Normally it's a few days after, but I always make sure I leave them positive feedback. No matter what the situation, they're going to get good feedback from me. The second thing I do is when I mail out the item, I put one of these notes in the package. And it's just a brief note saying how, thank you for your business, hope you like the product, and I'd be very grateful if you would leave me some positive feedback. Thanks again, Matthew. And yeah, it just instructs them to do it. Maybe it'll push them along a little bit further to go back online and leave that feedback. And then if those 2 methods fail, then the last method is to write to them, send them an email. Hit contact buyer and write a quick email along the same lines as that note that I just read, how you hope they like the product, it was a pleasure dealing with them, blah de blah. I'd appreciate if you could leave me some positive feedback. Maybe even put in there how you're just starting out and you want to build your feedback, and it would be great for you and future buyers. Something like that. So yeah, those are the things that I do. I've probably sold I'd say maybe 300 or so items on eBay over the past year, and I think I have a feedback score of 115. I've kind of stopped sending the emails now, but I still always put the packing slip in and leave the buyer good feedback. But yeah, so not everybody's going to leave you good feedback, or any feedback for that matter. That just doesn't happen. But you can do what you can do to get as much as you can. So that's the tip for today about feedback. If you haven't already, please like, comment or subscribe. And I'm going to keep making these videos. I'm Matt, your eBay mate, and thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again. Bye.